I'm Lauren from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're taking a detailed look at the ALPAKA Metro Backpack, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. Let's dive in. In classic alpaca fashion, this is a pretty sleek bag. So the outside material, the shell, is made with their Axoflux recycled polyester. It's a 300D material, and it has a nice feel to it. It's very slick. Like if you're familiar with alpaca bags, it has just like a very, I don't know, smooth feel to it almost, and it does have that really nice clean aesthetic on the outside as well. So we have a couple of tiny little features around the outside, but otherwise it's a pretty clean design. We have a alpaca logo. This is like a Hypalon material on the side here, and then that's in terms of like design and branding and things like that, that's pretty much it. We do have these little zipper pulls all on the zippers around here. These are YKK zippers. It's not quite a Hypalon. It's like a little bit more plasticky feeling versus like that kind of rubbery feeling, but they are really nice to grab. Super easy. They are on the bottom as well. We have a AquaGuard zipper here, and then this main compartment zipper is just a reverse coil with a DWR coating. So they have a lot of branding all over their page that says waterproof, but the materials are like waterproof materials, but it is not a waterproof bag. So like this zipper and this zipper, they're not going to keep water outside. This is not a submersible bag, and this fabric here will take on some water, but in a general sense, like if you are somewhere where there's like a lot of rain or something like that, and that's something you're worried about, this bag does hold up pretty well. We've had some pretty nasty weather here in Michigan, and I've had no issues with anything like seeping through or getting wet. We also have a really large gusset on the top here that covers this main compartment zipper, which gives it a lot of extra weatherproofing. It does make it a little bit harder to zip around, but in the scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. It's still pretty easy to open. And then we have this top carry handle that's pretty basic. It's got like a very, very, very small amount of padding in there, but it stays low profile against the bag, and it's easy to just pick this thing up. But in general, really like the aesthetic on the outside here. I think Alpaca just does a really good job with making their bags look nice and sleek and clean. Similarly, the harness system is also pretty basic. So we just have 2 straps and then this back panel that has a little bit of like foam cushioning on it. So you can see, if I pull this to the side, you can see that it's like, I don't know, maybe like an inch thick, if that. And I do feel like this is more than enough. This air channel being in the center, I can sort of feel it, but it's not that big of a deal. It didn't really bother me. There is no like padding or anything down here, and there is a bit of a frame sheet in there. So this theoretically could hit like your lower back, but even I have like a shorter torso, and even so, like this never bothered me or anything. So in terms of comfort, it's pretty good. And then on the shoulder straps here, we have 2, that same like sort of Hypalon feeling material, 2 little loops here, one with alpaca, one without, so you can hook gear if you want to. Metal adjuster straps with strap keepers. These are pretty easy to adjust. In a second I'll show you. And then on the actual straps themselves, we also have a decent amount of padding, probably similar to thickness in terms like compared to this back panel. And it has like a strip of black here that's like a soft material. It's softer and like stretchier than this actual strap itself, and that's what, if it like starts bumping up against your neck or something, it adds a little bit of comfort. So in general, pretty impressed with this back panel. I think it's just right for a bag of this size. This is the bag on my body. It is pretty basic. It just fits like any regular backpack does, to be quite honest, but it is really comfortable, like I mentioned. I don't really feel like it's digging into my lower back or anything like that, and these straps are pretty easy to adjust with those metal buckles. So, you know, if I wanted to change where it sits on my back, it's pretty easy to do so. And then with these straps here, they don't really feel like they're digging into my neck or anything, and if I do feel them, that soft material helps a lot with comfort. And it just has like a nice low profile look to it. It's a pretty small backpack and just fits the basics. So if that's what you're looking for, it's not taking up a ton of space, which is great. There is only one external compartment on this backpack, and it is this side zipper here. So when you have the bag like if you swing it around to your front, you unzip this and then you get access to this large pocket. So in here I have like a little makeup stack, and then I have a phone and wallet, and then keys over on this side here. And then there's a spot for like 2 pen slots. So I actually use this as an overnight bag like 2 or 3 different times. And I was able to fit, I'll show you the main compartment in a second, but I was able to fit like a change of clothes in the main compartment. And then in this front here is where I put like my toiletry bag. So it does have a decent amount of independent storage. Like you can see there that I can open that up pretty wide. So you can look at the very inside there. So it fits thicker items, and I just kept like the skinnier things in here. Oh, I have my headphones in here as well. So I didn't have any issues with things falling out of those pockets. So because when you're putting things in here, the pockets are sideways, that means that they're going to be, you know, facing out when you actually wear the backpack like a backpack. But I never had anything come out of those pockets, so that was pretty good. And then with this little strap here, this is where they have their mod system. We did not get this one. It didn't come with it attached, but this was like a pre-production sample type thing. So, but that does come standard with the backpack now as well. So that's where you would keep that little like key tether. I didn't feel like I was missing it, honestly. It is down at the bottom here. So when you do have your keys, your keys will be down here versus up here and like hanging down. That's just kind of like that's just a very small thing. It's not really anything that like impacts this bag much. You have a little bit of space on this side too. So I think this pocket does a really good job at just being nice and sizable. And then if you don't use it a ton or you only have flat items, then you can just prioritize putting all of your gear in the main compartment. And they impact each other a little bit when everything is like fully packed out, but it's pretty easy to just strategically place stuff on one side or the other depending on where everything falls in the bag. So not a huge deal. If you're finding this video helpful, hit subscribe so we can keep making content to help you travel smarter. But for now, we're going to get into the main compartment. So this zipper kind of falls on an angle. So what that does is give you a little bit more visibility when you open it up. So you can see here, the zippers are down at the bottom. We have a dual zipper. So it's nice and easy to, you can like put it on either side or put it at the top, kind of whatever you're feeling. I liked putting it down here because it was easier to find the zipper pulls. If I left the zipper pulls, here I can show you. If I left the zipper pulls up top, one, it kind of impacts the aesthetic of the bag, so that doesn't look as great to me. But also it just kind of felt like I had to like go underneath this gusset to be able to get to them. I liked being able to just get to them from the bottom. So not that big of a deal, but just something kind of a preference. I just like the design of it. So when you open this up, you can see that the bag like kind of stands on its own. When it's shut, it doesn't stand on its own. But with this, it's super easy to pack up. I think it did, like this being down here, there's no gusset or anything. So in here, I just have like a packing cube. There's no like gusset or anything down here. Usually when a bag like unzips, it'll have a gusset so that it doesn't fall all the way open, but that kind of like diagonal zipper design creates a natural gusset, which is pretty cool. And on the inside here, it's just pretty basic organization. We have a laptop compartment in the back, which is sized for a 14-inch. I have a 13-inch MacBook Pro, and that fits in there nice and easy. Decent padding. This is kind of like a soft, like a microfiber material almost. And there's no false bottom or anything like that, but I never really felt like it was, I don't know, I never really felt like my tech was in danger when I was setting the backpack down, but if that's a deal breaker for you, it's something to keep in mind. Back here we have 2 little pockets. I have a passport in one. Otherwise, I didn't really find myself using these a ton, but they did stay nice and flush against here. At one point I put like my computer mouse in there, so that's also a good spot for that, but I didn't find myself using them a ton. Here we have a water bottle pocket. So sometimes I use this water bottle pocket, other times I put other gear in here and then just put like the water bottle just flat out in the bag. There's no water bottle pocket on the outside of this thing, as you can see, but I think that's fine for me personally. This is a 12-liter bag, so it's not like you're getting a ton of stuff lost in here, and it helps keep that sleek aesthetic on the outside. So not really a deal breaker for me personally. We also have another pocket on this side, which is about the same size, but doesn't have that like wide design. And that's because this is designed for a water bottle pocket, or this is designed for a water bottle. This is just designed for quite literally anything else you want to put in there. And then we have this top pocket, which I use the most. This is where I would put like a charger and a cable or something like that. Or I would put my headphones in here too if I didn't want to put them in this front compartment. So this is like a nice half moon rounded mesh pocket, and it sits above everything else. So even when I loaded this thing up with gear, I could still really easily get to this pocket. Another thing is if you only zip up halfway and you zip down the sides just a little bit, you can just pull that open a little, get to whatever you need, and then you're all set. So this pocket does cut into this space right here a little bit more compared to really anywhere else in this bag. Like I didn't feel like the water bottle pocket or this pocket really cut into that main compartment, but this top one did. So what I ended up doing was I would put thicker items down here, kind of build my way up, put a couple of tech items here, and then in the gaps in that front compartment is where I would put like a toiletry bag or something like that. That was just when I was using this as an overnight bag. In terms of everyday carry, this is pretty much everything that I carry, maybe like an extra layer or something like that. So I never really felt like this was too small or anything. I just think it has a nice sleek design for the basics. If you're not a huge, you don't have a ton that you carry with you every single day, this is going to be a really great option for that, and it just looks sleek and professional and nice, and it's pretty comfortable as well. So I was a big fan of this one here. I think they did a pretty solid job with it. So there you have it, the ALPAKA Metro Backpack. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.